You know you should do core for your back, for your balance, for your neck, for your knees, but every time you try, something hurts. Your low back gets achy. It goes right into your neck, or you only feel it in your hip flexors. At some point, you give up. You say core work is not for me. But this episode is going to change everything. You'll learn how to unravel those compensating patterns and develop your core through breathing. Let's go. When your core is offline, other muscles have to pick up the slack. They end up doing a job they were never meant to do. And just like when you have to do a job you were never meant to do for a long, long time, eventually you get a little angry, a little cranky, a little resentful. And when this happens to our body, it speaks to us in the language of pain. So those muscles that are achy and cranky and complaining, like the tissue in between your lower ribs and the upper rim of your pelvis that always grips and grabs in your lower back, or your hip flexors, your groins that feel tight like guitar strings, or those muscles that pull your shoulders towards your ears and keep you rounded forward. Those muscles are trying to help you, but they've been doing someone else's job for a long, long time, and now they're overreactive, hypervigilant. They are compensating for your core. And they're actually not a problem. They're a sign, they're a signal, they're a symptom. That's why when you stretch them, you only get temporary relief. You're addressing the symptom, but not the source. The source is you don't have true core. So the tightness, the instability, the pain keeps coming back no matter what or how much you stretch. But if core work seems to trigger that gripping, grabbing pain cycle, how do you get out of it? What do you actually do? Here's what's happening in almost every core exercise you do. You perform rather than connect. It looks like this. You're focused on doing the thing, lowering your foot, keeping your core engaged, completing the rep. And in the performance, you lose the foundation. You stop breathing, you stop using your diaphragm, the rib cage and pelvis lose their stack. And then those hypervigilant, overactive, compensating muscles kick in. And then you feel it where you've always felt it. Your lower back, your neck, your hip flexors. Let me show you exactly what this looks like. This heel tap exercise is one of my favorite for core. But you should only lower your foot as far as you can keep your lower back, lower ribs cleanly, clearly, consistently on the floor. It took me months to lower my heel to the floor while maintaining my core. It's super tempting to get fixated on doing the thing, lowering the foot to the floor. And the moment you feel it in your low back, your neck, your hip flexors, that is not your core. That's the compensating pattern. At that point, you're not doing core work anymore. You have lost your way. If you keep going, it's like missing your turn and thinking if you keep driving, you'll somehow get back on track. You won't. You have to stop, back up, and make sure you don't miss that turn. And here's what you need to do to take that turn, to find that new pattern, to actually do core work that works instead of hurts. And this is gonna feel wrong at first. Go slow, do less, and only go as far as you're clear and consistent in your core. That's not a modification. That is building a foundation. This is challenging because humans have a hard time prioritizing that deeper, more subtle connection over the performance aspect. So know that you will be wrestling not just physically, but mentally and energetically too. To help you, there's a two-part process to finding and activating your true core. First, unravel what's hypervigilant and tight. Before you develop your true core, you may need to release what's getting in the way. Those compensating muscles have been coming to save the day for years or decades. For example, if you always feel core work in your hip flexors, your psoas is probably tight. And the upper portion of your psoas braids into what are called the legs, the crura of the diaphragm. So a tight psoas is going to pull on your diaphragm and restrict your breathing. If you're not breathing fully and freely through your diaphragm, you cannot generate the intra-abdominal pressure you need for true core. Similar but different, if the tissue of your lower back is always tight and grabby, it can cause you to tuck under or pull you forward so your butt is back, and then the rib cage and pelvis are not stacked, so the respiratory diaphragm pelvic floor cannot talk and generate the intra-abdominal pressure you need for true core. Last example, if your neck, your shoulders, the back of your head are always tight and scrunched up, that creates a pattern of breathing into your chest. So again, you're not using your diaphragm and you will be unable to generate the intra-abdominal pressure you need for true core. So these compensating patterns put you in a cycle of being unable to find your core because of the compensating patterns, and you need your core to get out of the compensating pattern. This is why in Asana Strong, we start with a perfect warm-up. We unravel these tight, sticky spots in the body so you're poised and ready. You have a clean slate to take that turn and create a new pattern of engaging your core. There's a practice that goes along with this episode. It'll help you slow down and build the foundation you need. It's called breathing for core. So first, you release those compensating patterns that are keeping you from your core. Next, you go slow, do less. So you're clear, you're getting true core. And true core is based on your breathing, driven by your diaphragm, with rib cage and pelvis stacked. When you lose even one of those, the compensating patterns are likely to kick in again. The good news is, when you do this, when you build the foundation, core is easier than you think. It's like turning on an engine. You get power without effort. It's old habits and patterns that keep you stuck. And if you're not sure what yours are, here are 3 questions to help you diagnose what's keeping you from your true core. 1, do I know how to breathe in a way that generates core stability? 2, is my breathing driven by my diaphragm? 3, can I keep my rib cage and pelvis stacked? For many of us, the obvious no is the rib cage and pelvis stacked. And there are 3 postural patterns most of us have that keep us from the stack that sets up the circumstances for true core. Some of us get stuck with chest up, butt back in an attempt to have good posture. Others get stuck in what I call the safety tuck in order to protect their lower back. And some of us tend to grip and grab in all of the wrong places. Whichever postural pattern you have, there are 5 muscles you need to strengthen and balance in order to keep your rib cage and pelvis stacked. It's the transverse abdominis, obliques, hamstrings, adductors, and serratus anterior. We've got a whole episode on those muscles, including what movements to do to strengthen them. They're the key to keeping rib cage and pelvis stacked so your diaphragm can drive your breathing and your breathing sets up your core. When you have true core, you end up in a virtuous cycle. Those overactive, hypervigilant, compensating muscles can quiet down. Your low back stops gripping. Your psoas suddenly has space. Your neck and shoulders relax. Not because you stretch them into submission, because they're no longer having to do a job they were not meant to do, which is provide the deep internal support and stability of your true core. And when that engine of true core is humming, it gives you a sense of groundedness, stability, solidity, and ease coming from the very center of your body. So when core work hurts, it's not working. And the way out of that vicious cycle is to release the compensating muscles and then go slow, do less, so you're clear that you're getting true core. Remember that if you end up back in that compensating pattern, you have lost your core. And no amount of effort in that compensating pattern will get you back to core. You have missed your turn. The only way to find it again is to stop, back up, and go slow enough that you don't miss it the next time around. We've got practices to help you find your true core. We also have practices and episodes to help you unravel these compensating patterns. Episode 4 will teach you how to release the gripping and grabbing in your lower body so your psoas has relief and release and your lower back feels safe and supported. Episode 5 is about releasing the tension in the back of your head, your neck, and your shoulders, and then your core becomes the foundation for better posture too. All of these resources are available here on YouTube. If you have questions about how this applies to your body specifically, schedule a strength audit. It's completely free, 0 pressure, and you get to speak with me about your body and your unique needs.